You ready, kids? I've never wanted to use the word haggard, not in a written format anyway, but I do fear that I look haggard today. Wow. Okay. That was all of June. Hi. You've got one Jen this week, the other half of Jen Squared. And I did not participate in the J2June challenge. Yep. Big day, big bottle of wine. It's a super hefty goal. One that I decided I absolutely could not share with her this month. Sorry about that. No. Oh yeah, a goal I'm not sharing. Everybody knows their limitations, but my partner in crime, she is absolutely crushing it. I highly recommend taking a look at her progress. What crime are we committing? We're writing novels, specifically trilogies, of the fantasy romance variety. Her project, Project Elixir, and my project, Project Midnight. If you just got here, you're missing out. We've got tons of stuff. Check it out. If you've been following, thank you. That's really nice. Although I did not participate in writing every day because I knew it wasn't feasible, I still wanted to give myself a little extra ambition to write this month. So I gave myself a goal, 20,000 words in 30 days. Realistically, if I were writing every day, that would be less than 1,000 words a day, which sounds a lot easier than it actually is. But we aren't writing every day. So I'm going to take you through it. This video is going to be a bit of a vlog, probably a bit of a mess, but a lot of fun. It might just be a rundown of what I did in June that wasn't really writing. So starting off in week 1, we got a little bit busy. We had a couple of events, mostly surrounding the Geminis in my life. Birthdays. So many Geminis. So I knew in this first week, I wasn't going to have a lot of time that was spent just solely for myself. And I was totally okay with that because making people happy does feed my soul. But life does have a funny way of forcing you to give yourself a break when you need one. And this week, apparently, I needed one. Okay. That's not straight. Some days, I feel intelligent and accomplished and even confident. Not necessarily today. I forgot I had a random vacation day in the middle of the week. And did I go to work? I sure did. Only to turn around and go directly home. In a way, it works out. Not of my own doing. I actively tried to sabotage myself in this scenario, but sometimes it still works out. Sometimes hobby authors get our calendars wrong. Whatever. I ended up writing 1,538 words that day. Words that I never would have written had I not gotten up early thinking I had to go to work. Unfortunately, the absolute gift of a day couldn't be used entirely for my manuscript. It did have to be used for organizing, packing, a little bit of cleaning. I didn't really know how I wanted to tackle this project, so I started a little weekly vlog recap. In week 1, I wasn't the most rested version of myself. Just hold it. It's one of your hobby authors coming at you live. Welcome to the J2June challenge that I am completely not doing in the correct way, but I'm trying my best, and I feel like that's the point. It has been 1 week of June. If you're also wondering why I have no cabinets, it's because they're getting painted. There's always something, right? There's always something. So obviously we have no cabinets, but neither here nor there. First week of June always falls on my partner and my sister's birthday. I took absolutely no pictures or videos, but that was something that did take up a whole bunch of my time. The only weekday at which I got to write was the weekday in which I royally screwed up my calendar. I did that.
So we're just meeting again Sunday morning. I'm gonna do a couple writing sprints to start off my day with a really quiet wind into my Sunday with a nice little writing session. Immediately packing for the cottage, going to Costco, picking up everything we need, and hightailing it out of here for a week. If you want to follow along a woman who's actually writing and doing the challenge the way it was intended, Jenny's got you. If you want a realistic depiction of a busy girl in the summer, I've got you. Two sides of a coin, baby. The Geminis. It's the season of the Geminis. This is getting a little too far. Catch back up with you at the cottage. Them's the breaks. That's the plan.
With only a couple days actually spent writing, we have a week one total of 2,701 words. And we are taking any progress as good progress. So we're happy. And we're moving on. If I could do a Russian accent, I would, because we're going to the cottage. The best part about not giving myself an overambitious routine and goal is I still get really excited when I have all the time in the world to do my hobby, work on my passion project. When we get to the cottage and we get to the serene views, it just feels better. It just feels lighter. It just feels like a good place to get lost in. And this year, the weather, stunning. The sun, shining. The water, serene. The word count, baby, the word count. I had some doubts about the word count pretty early on. And they continued on until about the weekly check in.
Whole lot of me. Every year, I do this thing where I forget that my body rejects pollen. So I didn't really sleep that well last night, so the sunglasses are staying on. You're welcome.
Of course, the sun goes away the second I press record. Important update. Brand new notebook. Like eerily empty. The J2June challenge. I'm not doing it. It's still happening. But this is probably going to be my only time to film a really good update. I still gave myself a word count goal to reach in June, pretty much prompting me to write more often and fit it in more ambitiously when I could. Sounds like a great idea. And the goal was 20,000 words. Still is. Which I thought was fine because last Nano, the goal was 60,000 words, and I thought that was a completely reasonable goal. I was hoping to maybe kick that goal in half this week. But 20,000 is probably far too many words if we're really thinking about it logically. And then if we also think back, I very much failed to reach my goal at Nano. Like by a large margin, I believe. Why I would use that as a benchmark, I actually don't know. But I did. I've started every morning this week writing, either on the dock or inside when there's been too many bugs. They were here first, and you have to respect that, but I don't like it. It makes me really want to quit my job and do this thing full time. And I have no right to believe that dream is reasonable right now, but what if we make it real? I have been living the hobby author's dream this past week, and I will continue to unabashedly live the hobby author's dream. The second week of June, you've been so good.
If I'm out of breath, this is the second time I filmed this, as I have forgotten to record the first time. So I essentially just did a bunch of stairs. Let's go. But this dock is exactly how I lost the first stand I ever owned. The lake still might have it somewhere in this general area. So I've been taking this apart and hiding it in a dry space every time, which you should just do always.
But I don't think I really understood how much I was writing. A little bit down about that, but I really, really shouldn't have. because the plot, oh my goodness, the plot. I was writing my few main characters in a couple different locations, in which at least one thing in every location was trying to kill them. Isn't that so fun? And as much as I would have loved to write the whole entire time, I truly just couldn't. We had company, we had fun, we had plans, we had vacation time. All in all, this year, with zero casualties of any kind, we managed to write 11,344 words. Who am I? An author? Maybe. Making the current total 14,045 words and climbing. Reality came down hard with 5 0 word count days in a row. Staring at 5 goose eggs is never really a comfortable thing. I have a job. I need to make money. I've got other hobbies. I've made other commitments. We have priorities. So I had a long week of work and a full evening schedule. Some days are like that. So the weekly word count, 1,276. All progress is progress. I said it, I meant it. And I'm going to keep taking that mentality into the following week, where I had another 5 of 7 days with a 0 word count. I was a little preoccupied. Ball, montage, boom, 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 bats. Some other not so fun priorities needed to be taken care of this week too.
Hello. Okay. Hello. I would really love to write. I've ignored that. We gotta be a little bit responsible tonight. Another day of J2June where I can't write again. I wrote 0 words tonight, but my kitchen's clean.
So this week, 2 writing nights, 1,589 words later, we're rolling into the last 2 days of June.
Did I quit my job and start writing? No. I did a little retail therapy. I went through a record store and I got some old favorites. My camera's not straight. Here's how I know it was a bad day. Because I saw the cutest clutch I've ever seen. Do I need it? No. How adorable this is. I didn't fix my problems, but I do feel better. And I think that's the moral of the story. Sometimes being a hobby author is exactly what you think it is. Not much authoring.
Brings us to right here, right now. Who do I think I am? It's June, mother 30th. We made it. Like, crazy. Crazy that we made it. I didn't even participate in an everyday challenge, and I still feel exhausted, but accomplished. I've intentionally not looked at my word count tracker for the past week to not calculate exactly how many words I have left to reach my goal. I'm gonna write one last time, one last night, well, like not forever, in this June. Get that word count up and see how close I get. Here we go. In the end, can I get a drum roll, please? In my apartment, alone, giving myself a drum roll. Final word count, 19,139 words. Less than 1,000. 861 words away? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. That's balance, baby. She said 20,000. She meant almost 20,000. What a month. What an effort. Good things happen when you have a buddy and you make it fun. Maybe let me know in the comments how you tackle your writing routine and you make it fun when you need to find ambitious ways to motivate yourself. We did pretty great. Oh, that's nice. I know. Maybe we pick a different month next time so that it's a little fit. As always, thanks for hanging out with me. The other half of Gen Squared. Oh, don't bite it. I think we're done here.